gas and not get complacent or too comfortable, because that's when you mess up.
That's when things go south.
Absolutely. So you are involved politically in a lot of different things. Tell us what you've been working on lately.
So, a lot of what I've been working on lately, quite frankly, has been the Virginia elections. We we knew it was going to be rough.
Hmm.
Like, in a lot of ways, we hoped, we wanted. There was a time, especially after Jay Jones' texts came out, that we
Right.
thought we
Thought we
had
had
it.
it.
We thought we
Yeah.
had it. But the problem is, and this is something that, I describe myself as a conservatarian or a libertarian until it gets crazy. Um, and the the that world, like, we we describe politics in terms of violence a lot, unfortunately, because that's the methodology of the state. And the left idolization of the state means an idolization of violence that just isn't present in terms of a liberty-minded right-wing movement, because the liberty-minded movement says, go forth and do you.
Hmm.
Well, the left doesn't do that. And we thought, even in Virginia, as left-wing as it was tilting, that culture of violence wasn't taking root, and they were at least going to reject Jay Jones, and
Yeah.
instead they embraced Jay Jones. And this isn't a measure of the loss of politics. It's a measure of the loss of culture and community.
Absolutely. I agree completely. And working with Moms for Liberty, I have friends kind of across the country, pretty much in every state at this point. And I just felt horribly for my friends in Virginia and New Jersey after these last elections and their governor's races, and just seeing their states openly embracing the Democrat Party. It was disappointing. And at the same time, Emil, I thought to myself, maybe this is kind of a blessing in disguise, because in 27, we can look at those states and say, look at what they've done in the last 2 years since they have elected Democrats into the highest state office. And hopefully that will play in our favor. I
Well,
pray.
and again, I'm hoping it plays into our favor in 2026.
Hmm.
The same with the Zoran Mamdani win in New York,
Right.
which, uh, again, it shouldn't be a surprise. We fought the good fight. My company, our work, our consulting was pretty heavily involved in Virginia, not really as involved in New York, but we knew as soon as Mandani won the primary, we knew he was really probably going to win. It was Como didn't have it; no one had it to defeat him. And quite frankly, I love the city of New York. I'm a weird Southerner. I love New York City. I love Washington D.C. I love the rich dynamic that a city brings.
Hmm.
I don't want them to fail, but you cannot walk in with these policies and expect anything other than failure. And I think one of the things that Jackson went through under the last mayor was a complete and utter failure. And in
Hmm.
retrospect, saying, I wish it had happened sooner so we could have gotten rid of him and had a new election and elected someone like John Horn sooner. The same holds true for New York and Virginia. I am watching and waiting for them to overplay their hand, because that's what's going to let us point in 2026 and say, look at what is going on. Look at the culture, look at the economy, look at all of this. Do you want that in your world?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you are openly embracing a self-proclaimed socialist, I never thought we would see the day that that would happen. And I understand, I guess, the mindset of some of these New Yorkers who are thinking we can't afford anything, and this man is promising the moon, promising things he cannot deliver on. But I guess people are just trying to grasp at that little bit of hope that somebody's going to come in and be their savior.
Well, it was described recently as not just the economics of envy, but the policy of desperation. And
Hmm.
it, right now, I'll be honest, conservatives, libertarians have made an okay case, but we haven't made a rock solid case for our ideology. We've built these coalitions where even Trump is, we think about him as being a real conservative. There's a lot of populism to him, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of populism to the state of Mississippi. Uh, I travel all over the country, and people look at Mississippi and wonder, how do we have certificate of need laws? How do
Right.
we have all of these like policies that don't make sense for a conservative state? And it's because I say Mississippi is not a conservative state. We look conservative
Hmm.
because the conservative coalition with a populist coalition of uh, paternalistic common sense, which I mean, I love, and I'm not saying that in any negative way, but that's the coalition that's here. And sometimes that means that instead of a liberty minded conservative, you get an I just don't want to change things conservative. And there's a rational argument to be had for both. I think there's a rational argument to be had for I don't want to change even in a liberty world, which is where I lean. I don't
Hmm.
want to change that too fast because of unintended consequences.
But
So,
that hesitation for change gets us left
but that
behind.
hesitation for exactly. And that's where it across the nation, I I think we talk about maybe 20% of the nation is probably conservative, 20% is probably liberal, and then this populist majority is really the majority. And for years, you look at the Bill Clinton era, the populist majority was leaning towards the left and coalition with progressives in the Democratic Party. Well, then it shifted and Newt Gingrich ran on sort of a populist conservative platform, and we had the Republican Revolution. Well, now we had Trump that was such a strong, motivating, but unusual coalition. And we are getting some amazing things done. But it's not enough to just have a coalition that gets a few things done, because that only accomplishes the politics of today.
Right.
To accomplish the politics of tomorrow, of the next year, of the next generation, we have to make a case for not just conservative ideas, but liberty ideas. I won't say libertarian because that gets too into the weeds of political identity, but liberty ideas that are what conservatism is rooted in.
What the country was founded on.
Yes. And right now, it, we haven't made that case in New York.
No, I don't think so. And you're talking about the Bill Clinton era and kind of leaning more progressive, but to me it seems as though there's become so much. When you say progressive, it means something so different today than it did during the Bill Clinton era.
I mean, you say that, but I don't actually think that's true. I think that what we're seeing now is the microphone being put up to what was always there. Bernie Sanders was an elected official at that time. That's that was the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. You had an active progressive socialist wing. They just didn't have the megaphone they do now.
You don't
And
think they've become much more radical?
I would say that the radicalism has uh, maybe not become more, but there is more of it. Bernie Sanders was, I, I mean, pretty close to what he is now. I think there's been some changes on immigration. There have been some changes on Bernie Sanders' platform, but that was always the end goal. I wouldn't say that the progressive wing has gotten more radical. I would say that the progressive wing has grown larger.
Maybe there's just more of it today. With
Exactly.
social media and with everyone having a microphone in their face, you can click a button on your phone and go live, and you're talking to the whole world. Everyone
Mhm.
can hear and see you. Maybe that's what makes it feel like it's so much more radical, or there's so much more of it today than there was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and I really think it progressivism, and I hate that term because we're the progressives. Conservatives are the progressives because we're the ones saying, let's grow the pie. Let's make the economy bigger. Let's do more for more people. We are the progressives. That is the other side. What has called themselves progressive is a medieval, top-down, hierarchical regime that, quite frankly, has been around since the Stone Age. That's not a progressive ideology. That's a regressive ideology that we talk about in the liberty movement all the time, the fortress versus frontier concept of development. Are you building a fortress to protect and divide up the resources, or are you building a frontier to grow the resources? Uh, the progressive movement, as we call it in America, the left wing movement, has always had this radicalization at its roots because it has to. You have to always be tearing down and dividing, tearing down and dividing, because that's what the Bolshevik Revolution is. And that's what it's always going to be. We just see more of it because they have a megaphone, and I think there are more of them now than there were, but I wouldn't even say it's more radical. The end goal is always the same. Tear down society, take
Divide.
control.
Yeah.
Tear down, divide, control.
Absolutely. Well, we got to take our first break, but you mentioned Jackson, and I know you're around the Capitol a good bit, and you're kind of on the inside circles there. You know what's going on, and I want to get your opinion on what we saw with the City Council yesterday. So, y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here on the Lindsay Beckham Show. You don't want to miss it. Beckham Show. You don't want to miss it.
Keep it tuned here to 1039 WYAB. The seasons are changing. It's time to get your heating system serviced. Pure Air Consultants offers services on your heating and cooling system. We offer replacement, service, maintenance agreements. It's important because if you have a gas heating system, it can produce carbon monoxide. So you want to make sure you have your system serviced and cleaned to protect your family. You want to make sure your system is safe to run. You can find us on our website at mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com.
Some of the best parts about being home for the holidays are sharing stories, sharing gifts, and sharing a slice of pizza you crave the most. Like the classic Pizza Kitchen from Johnny's Pizza House, topped with 11 legendary ingredients. It's the main course on everyone's wish list. Need a gift for that hard to buy person in your life? Get them a Johnny's Pizza House gift card and go from good friend to best friend. friend. They may even end up sharing it with you. Share a slice of home this holiday season with Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Here's John and Corey Ravenstein. Join us this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for our biggest diamond event of the season.
It's Juniker Jewelry Company's Holiday Direct Diamond event.
We've flown in the very latest diamond production, directly from our cutters in every shape. Gorgeous ovals, radiance, cushions, and emerald cuts.
We're Mississippi's direct diamond importer with more than 10 times the diamonds you'll see in any other store in the state.
At the best prices in Mississippi, guaranteed.
For that engagement ring you've been promising her.
Or the bigger diamond she's always wanted. Guys, this is the weekend.
And we'll have it set, gift wrapped, and ready for Christmas morning.
Add to that, special, up to 3 years interest-free financing. And nobody beats Juniker's.
Juniker Jewelry's Holiday Direct Diamond event.
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only. I want to shake your hand.
Juniker Jewelry Company. From anywhere in Mississippi, we're at 1485 Highland Colony Parkway, just south of 463 in Madison, and online at junikerjewelry.com, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
The Tri-County Academy Rebels' success in the classroom and on the athletic stage begins with the Tri-County Academy Booster Club. Join the team and be a Rebel by getting involved and volunteering as a booster. Your involvement is the generator for fundraisers, facility upgrades, equipment, uniforms, and all other needs. Tri-County Athletics thrives in part because of our TCA boosters. Join today by calling the TCA main office at 601-879-8517 and help the Rebels continue the championship tradition.
Here's a word from John White, the owner of Two Gun Tactical in Flowood and Ridgeland.
I carry a gun every day, all the time. Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled, and it stopped the threat. So I'm really wearing a firearm just to stop the threat. There's more likelihood of me just pulling it and not using it than there is using it. TwoGunTactical.com, TwoGunTactical.com.
Two Gun Tactical, the South's only country club.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
Come together.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. 601-879-0002 is the number to call in. If you have anything you would like to say on air today or any questions for our guest, Mr. Emil Wilson here, 601-879-4648 is our text line. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. And we are excited to have you here, Emil. And before we went to break, I said, you'd mentioned, being in Jackson in the last administration and how awful it was. And thankfully now we have Mayor John Horn in office. But yesterday there were some headlines that really just made me giggle. And I'm thinking to myself, in what city do you see headlines posted saying that there's now policy put into place where your city officials cannot be involved with the dope boys? And it just seems laughable at this point that that's something that is making headline news in our state. What's your take on it?
I mean, like, I wasn't a big comic book kid, but I love Batman. And my wife jokes about we have lived in Gotham City.
Yeah. Spelled that way.
And I mean, you have these policies coming in because whether rightly or wrongly, I think Kenny Stokes has access to information we don't, because Kenny Stokes kept saying that the last administration was in league with the dope boys. whether he's saying that for political posturing or if he knows something we don't, I don't particularly care. But the fact that it held, perception is reality
Mhm.
in that world. And there was a sense in which Jackson was perceived, if not actually being run in a Gotham City style criminal element having the real power. And how do we fix that? Well, yeah, it's absurd and silly that we have to say, don't do business with the dope boys. But
That should be a given,
I mean, that
right?
should be a given. But we're in a place where um, that's the political power. Whether real or perceived, it's the political power that the dope boys, the gang leaders, the criminal element, they're the ones in control. And I mean, in the Gotham world, you make a deal with them to keep the peace. You divide the city between the various gangs and the various
Mhm.
crime bosses. And I mean, Jackson's gotten to that place.
Yeah.
And you heard Mayor Horn at his inauguration told the police, you go out there, you do what needs to be
We're gonna take
done.
the handcuffs off, which I still
Yes.
wanna know, what were the handcuffs that were on? You know, we still haven't been told exactly what were the handcuffs that Chokeway had on the JPD and Capitol Police?
Exactly. We don't know that, do we?
We don't.
And yeah, that's where uh, I don't want to be to sound like a moderate or a squish, but I often say, whether something is real or perceived, I don't care. It's our lived reality.
Mhm.
And those, what were the handcuffs at a certain point right now, whether it was a real handcuff as public policy or a perceived persecution, whatever it was, don't care. It's over. Fix the problem. And maybe that's me being a little too practical, but at it, I think that there is much more that we will never know.
Yeah.
And that is it's just like these federal investigations. What we know is pretty damning.
That's true. That's true.
And beyond what we know, I'm sure there's more. I'm
There's
sure
got
of
to
it. There's
be.
got to be. There were so many rumors. There was so much that was just accepted. And at this point, as long as people go to jail and we fix the problem, I'm done dealing with that. I don't want to deal with the let's be real, the horrors that was a lot of the past administration. The only way I want to deal with that is as a cautionary tale to prevent the rise of New York's Chokeway, Zorhan Mamdani,
Right.
or others. Prevent the rise, fix the problem. We got enough already to put them away in federal prison. Let's get there. Let's clean a slate, start new, fix my city.
Do you think that that will actually come to fruition? Do you think that they will actually have to pay for those crimes?
Who knows? And I think you're going to see some people go to jail. You're probably not going to see all of the people who should go to jail. And uh, will there be deals cut? Will there be political machinations? I don't know. And I don't even know at this point what do- what how deep do you have to go before you're really getting people paying for the crimes? Because it's not just a mayor. It's an entire political organization
Mhm.
from here, Detroit, uh, uh, New York, that is rooted in crooked dealings. And it's an organization. Who's going to pay for it? I know good and well most of these people aren't going to pay for it because most of them aren't even charged.
Well, I mean, and Jody Owens is still the DA. I mean, he's still in office.
Yes.
And that seems wild to me. But at the same time, you have to be so careful when wanting to pass legislation or put laws into place, because then I look back at the attempted political assassination of President Trump
Mhm.
prior to the presidential election. And I think about that. And if we put certain things into place legislatively or make certain things law, then that could have been something that could have affected his being reelected. So
Mhm.
yeah, originally I was thinking there needs to be something on the books that would keep this man from being able to stay DA while this is all going on. But you have to look at that double-edged sword there.
Well, and that's one of the issues with a lot of the federal prosecution in general. This should have already been prosecuted, but the feds are trying to play it so safe because they don't want it to look rushed. They don't want an appeal based on, well, we didn't have the proper defense. We didn't have the proper timeline for uh, uh, defense preparation, all the and okay, like I get it. That again, that's part of why I'm a conservative. I see unintended consequences and want to avoid them. Um, and I want the criminals to go to jail. I do not I have accepted that in my world, a significant amount of the criminals will not go to jail. I've just accepted that. You know, even people talk about prosecutions uh, of the feds for what they did to President Trump and the weaponization of law enforcement. And in an ideal world, yes. In a realistic world, is that going to happen?
Probably not.
Probably not. And so I focus and I try to focus the organizations I lead and am involved with on what what can you actually do? We can actually organize, and whether whether Jody Owens is convicted and sentenced to jail, whatever, what are we doing for 2027 to make sure that he is defeated in an election? Same question was rising for the mayor. We got him out. We got him out.
Overwhelmingly.
Overwhelmingly. I think, as I recall, not a single precinct gave him a majority. That is such a powerful statement. And is there a world in which we see him and his entire enterprise in jail? Yes, and that's a great world. But do I see that world as being a reality? Don't know, don't care. I'm not a federal prosecutor. I'm not. And if I was a federal prosecutor, then people would be asking me questions and I'd be saying, well, I'm not a state judge or I'm not an attorney general. Like, and that's not to pass the buck. That's to say, what am I personally capable of?
All right. What
And
can
that
I
is-
do to make it better?
Yes. And that is organizing to make a political impact.
Absolutely. We got to take a break, but y'all stay with us. There is much more to discuss. We are here on the Lindsay Beckham Show with Emil Wilson, and we will be right back here on WIB 103.9. Emil Wilson, and we will be right back here on WIB 103.9.
.1039 WYAB.
The seasons are changing. It's time to get your heating system serviced. Pure Air Consultants offers services on your heating and cooling system. We offer replacement, service, maintenance agreements. It's important because if you have a gas heating system, it can produce carbon monoxide. So you want to make sure you have your system serviced and cleaned to protect your family. You want to make sure your system is safe to run. You can find us at our website at mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com.
Hey there, pizza lovers. It's time for family, fun, and mouth-watering moments. Gift the taste of Johnny's Pizza House. Our gift cards are the ideal treat for those you love. Warm their hearts and their bellies this holiday season. Whether it's a family gathering or the hit. And who knows, they might even invite you over for a slice. Visit johnnysph.com/gift cards today. Gift memories, gift joy, gift Johnny's. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice of joy.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
CBS News Brief. A Navy admiral is briefing lawmakers today on what happened in September when the military struck a suspected drug boat for a second time, knowing there were survivors. Congressman Jim Himes says Admiral Frank Bradley denied the defense secretary ordered him to take them out.
The admiral confirmed that there had not been a kill them all order and that there was not an order to grant no quarter.
A 30-year-old Virginia man has been arrested in connection with 2 pipe bombs planted outside Democratic and Republican headquarters in Washington the night before the Capitol riots. CBS's Daniel Kleidman.
There's been a lot of pressure on the FBI to solve this. It's been nearly 5 years, some criticism. I'm sure they will address those questions at the press conference today. We hope we will learn more about who this suspect is and why he allegedly did what they say he did.
CBS News Brief. I'm Cammie McCormick.
Our flag was still there. The official 250th celebration flag is available at a complete flag source on I-55 North in Jackson. It's just one way you can show your appreciation for the greatest country on earth. Flags for all occasions. International and state flags too. Flagpole construction available. You can check it out at CompleteFlags.com. A complete flag source, I-55 North in Jackson.
This holiday season, let Manship in Jackson take the reins on all your festive feastings with our holiday catering menu. We're talking platters, whole turkeys, baked hams, and prime rib that melts in your mouth. They also offer amazing casseroles and desserts that'll have everybody asking for seconds or third. And about those holiday gatherings, don't stress it. Their private rooms can host anywhere from 5 to 100 of your nearest and dearest friends, ensuring your party is as special as the occasion. Make your holidays hassle-free and delicious at or with the Manship.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
This is Doug with Magnolia Safety Group. Imagine a workplace where every employee feels safe and empowered. At Magnolia Safety Group, we make that vision a reality. From OSHA compliance to customized training, hazard assessments, and safety audits. We deliver tailored solutions that protect your people and boost productivity. Don't just meet safety standards, exceed them. Partner with Magnolia Safety Group and build a safer future one workplace at a time. Call us today to get started or check out our website at magnoliasafetygroup.com.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
come together right now.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are coming to you live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. We are joined here today by my good friend and yours, Mr. Emil Wilson, who has his hands in a whole bunch of different organizations doing a lot of things politically. And we were just talking about what his focus is going to be in the upcoming legislative session. You all know how much I care about school choice and education freedom. That's something that is truly so near and dear to my heart, that my organization has fought for. Also, Americans for Prosperity. That's one of their main issues. They are a sponsor also here of the Lindsay Beckham Show. I know that's something you care about, Emil. But you made a great point in the break by saying, you know, we got to stop the bad stuff. And sometimes I think that's more important than actually getting a bill across the finish line during our legislative session, is making sure that we're paying attention to all the bad legislation that's being dropped and stopping it before it becomes law here in our state.
Absolutely. And there are literally thousands of bills that get put through. And people who aren't very politically involved don't understand that everyone in any leadership post up to and including a committee chairman in Mississippi has pocket veto power.
Mhm.
And so getting something across the finish line,
It's so hard to do.
it's so hard to do because not only do you have people for whom things will get voted on, you have to get past the gatekeepers to even get something there.
Right. I tell people all the time, the Schoolhouse Rock video did not really teach you how a bill becomes a law, because there's so much more to it.
Right. And there's so much gatekeeping that getting something across the finish line is often a multi-year process.
And it's a game. I mean, I'll be
Oh, yeah,
completely honest
yeah.
with you. There are games being played, and
Mhm.
you have to play the game.
Mhm.
If you ever want to be successful at getting anything done,
And
there's a game you have to play.
and you've got to push public opinion.
Mhm.
And a significant amount of what I'm paying attention to going into the next session is what's public opinion and what's going to solve an issue in 3 to 5 years.
Mhm.
We have one more legislative session. That's it. This legislative session, and then the following one is an election year.
Right.
Come
So
on,
nothing
guys.
really happens
Nothing
then.
happens. So, like, I have issues I'll be talking about. Portable benefits was something I was talking with you out during the break about.
Mhm.
Portable benefits is gonna be a big issue. School choice is gonna be a big issue. There are, some health and wellness related issues. There's a lot going on. But I'm also looking at what can we talk about now that will become the campaign issues in 2027? What's going to shape public opinion? Because right now, if stuff hasn't been successful for several years, it probably won't be this year. You'll get some nuance, you'll get some definitional work, you might get some landmark legislation, but I doubt it. My work is very much, how do I get public opinion or expert opinions to notice a couple of core things leading into 2027 so that candidates are talking about it, making promises, and people are asking their candidates about it to make 2028 a more successful session. So I'm already there, and there are people whose job is this session and this moment. I do that occasionally, but much of my work is what are the building blocks for 2 or 3 years from now?
And that makes complete and total sense, because it's usually not the first year a bill is dropped that it becomes a law. It usually takes many more years than that first year. I know as those bills start to show up in the system, my eyes begin to cross because you have to be so careful because one or two words can change the meaning of everything in that piece of legislation. And I'm constantly, as session starts in January, trying to find the bad stuff and make sure that these are not the things that I see coming out of committee. Because once that happens, then it's going to could be brought up on the floor, and then you're in trouble. Then there could actually be a way for that to make it through the finish line. So you've got to not only be concerned with new good legislation, but making sure that you see those rotten apple pieces of legislation that are out there and making others aware of them, having citizens calling their representatives, their senators, their legislators, and telling them, hey, this is not what we want for our state.
Yeah, and honestly, some of it is not in the sexy legislation. We can sit here and talk about portable benefits and school choice and all of the sexy issues. I worked for years on a tax issue that we were able to finally get some definitions from the courts because we couldn't get the legislature to act. But
we did that with the vaccine issue as well.
And,
You had to take it to the courts.
And that's the thing is you have courts, you have executive departments, you have the legislature, you have all of these groups. And sometimes what we're working on the hardest is not the sexy big issue. It's defining what is a taxable transaction. We worked a lot on some definitions of taxable transaction, which doesn't sound like the cool thing. No one's going on radio shows to talk about it,
Yeah.
but it impacts your life on a day-to-day basis.
So by taxable transaction, do you mean somebody was telling me the other day that if you give a gift that's over a certain amount, that it has to be taxed. Is that correct? Because I was thinking that sounds insane. That money, if I go to work and make money that's already taxed, and then I want to give it to someone, why would it be taxed again?
So,
sorry, I'm getting off topic.
No, but that's where these definitions and all of this stuff comes into play. Is it taxed? Well, it depends on how you report it. That depends on how the person receiving reports it. That depends on how much and over how many years. There are so many elements to it.
Technicalities that people don't think about until they are in a situation.
And that's why the federal tax code is what 800 trillion pages long or something absurd. That's an exaggeration to everyone out there fact checking. But in those nuances is where the power to impact your day-to-day life lives. I have kids. I give them money. What can they do with that money? Can they invest it in a Roth IRA? Well, no, because it's not earned. It's given. So does the definition of earned income matter? Well, maybe if you're trying to give your kids something, and that Roth IRAs for kids may not be the big sexy issue. It may sound so, but
somebody say, who cares about that? Well, you will when it's you that's dealing with it.
And I want my kid to learn to save, to learn good finance. And if my kid can't do the thing, then they can't learn the thing. So it's not just about, well, the Roth IRA, it's about the education of a child to become a functional citizen. And if they can't do something as a kid under my guidance and supervision, then how are they going to learn and function to do it as an adult? That's a big question.
Mm-hmm.
So that definition of gift versus earned, what qualify, like all of that matters on the big sexy issues like financial education for high school kids.
Right.
So, there's a world in which we need people working on
All the things.
All the things. And
Absolutely.
a lot of what I'm working on just isn't sexy.
But it matters.
Yes.
It matters.
Yes.
And it ties into the big sexy issues at some point.
Yes. And gosh, there are so many people working behind the scenes doing this sort of thing. We've all talked about right to try legislation for medical purposes. We did some work a couple of years back on what are called technological sandboxes. That sounds absurd, but basically it gives innovators the right to try new technology and new processes. And it doesn't sound sexy. It sounds weird and complex, but I have an iPhone and an iPad, both in my hands, that came about because innovators were allowed to try new, weird things that probably failed a million times before they succeeded.
Right.
And so does technological sandboxes influence your day-to-day? When I say it that way, no, but when I hold up an iPhone,
Yes.
the answer is yes.
Absolutely. We got to take our last break, but y'all stay with us. This hour goes by so fast. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here to wrap things up on this Thursday afternoon here on The Lindsay Beckham Show. Things up on this Thursday afternoon here on The Lindsay Beckham Show.
.1039 WYAB.
Hey, this is Travis with Rapid Oil Change, the leader in fast service and fleet account maintenance for over 40 years, providing routine maintenance for most makes and models, keeping downtime to a minimum. We accept most local and national fleet accounts. Can't see at night? Headlights faded? Check out our newest service, the Bright Line Headlight Restore Kit by Mighty Automotive, available now. Keep your vehicle ready for the road ahead and drive hard with Casserole Edge. Open 6 days a week with 6 locations to serve. Visit us online for specials at oilchangems.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's is a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Whether you're at home, in your car, or on the field, let Shelter be your shield. Come see me, Jamie Creel.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Cork and Door Company has been providing quality residential garage and commercial overhead door products to Mississippians for over 50 years. Cork and Door is the supplier of garage door parts and services such as LiftMaster, commercial and residential door operators, as well as Clopay, sectional commercial and residential doors, Asta, commercial sheet and rolling steel doors, and Cornell, rolling steel and shutters, with many in stock for the same-day pickup. CorkandDoor.com. That's CorkandDoor.com.
Hey, this is John with MES. That's Mississippi Energy Services. We sell, service, and install all makes and models of home and business generators. One thing that we do different than a lot of other companies is we do all the work ourselves. We don't use subcontractors. We go from the original estimate, the design, to the final product. That way we can control the quality of the job from the beginning to the end. We are online at msenergy.us.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in to experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Lime Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Whether you're wanting to relive your youth or celebrate youth, Mississippi Candy Company in Gluckstadt can make that come true. Mississippi Candy Company has a wide selection of nostalgic candy and a huge selection of chocolates, gummies, made-to-order flavored popcorn, and Hershey's ice cream. A perfect place for stocking stuffers, office gifts, birthdays, and Christmas. Mississippi Candy Company on Dees Drive in Gluckstadt. You've never seen anything quite like it.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Come together right now.
We are back here on the Lindsay Beckham Show for the last minute or so. Emil, tell people how they can find you or get involved with some of the stuff that you are working on.
Sure. So you can always find me, Emil, Amile Wilson. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all the good stuff there. My website, my company website is Hapax Creative, Hapax. If you don't know what that means, it's a cool biblical and Latin reference. So, yeah, you can find me there. I also run the state's Young Republicans, which is the young professionals, 40 and under. And we've been involved heavily, not so much in Mississippi, but in exporting volunteers and efforts to influence other places.
That's great. And I'm sure you keep everybody updated on your social medias on what you're working on and what's going on. We just want to thank you so much, Emil, for being here. I'm so glad that you were able to come in and talk to everybody about what it is that you do. And hopefully we will be able to have you back soon.
Thrilled to be here always.
Yes, I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place.